Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Base Attack for the Atari 2600. In this 1983 shoot-'em-up from Home Vision, you take control of a flying saucer, blasting enemy bases on a fortified planet's surface. I don't actually know what the storyline is here, but I keep trying to come up with wishful scenarios where I'm not the hostile alien invader, because I don't like being the bad guy, and in this game, well, it's hard to argue that I'm not the bad guy. In any case, the goal here is to destroy all bases in every level while avoiding their return fire. If you succeed, you move on to the next round with new terrain and base configurations. There are 6 repeating levels, and the bases shoot faster and faster with each loop. But they're also worth more points with each loop, and if there's anything that can entice me to ditch my morality and embrace hostile alien invader status, it's arbitrary point bonuses. There are hazards that don't give you points though, and they happen to be the greatest threat in this game: missile pods. These start appearing sporadically in the playfield after level 2, where they linger in place for a while, then turn into projectiles that fly at you laterally. Destroying missile pods isn't the hard part though. The hard part is not running into them, as they inexplicably appear exactly where you're flying to. And they even tend to line up above the last remaining bases to keep you from sending a direct shot downward unimpeded. Speaking of which, a standard laser cannon is your only attack. It can fire down at the bases or laterally at the missiles. The tricky part is that you have to move in whatever direction you're trying to shoot, which means you've actually got to approach bases and missiles directly if you want to blast them. Not my preference, considering I'm a certified coward and I'd rather back away from threats, but you gotta do what you gotta do for those sweet, sweet point bonuses, right? And you'll need them to earn extra lives, one for every 10,000 points. Granted, I still couldn't score fast enough to keep up with all the lives I burned running into inconveniently placed missile orbs, but maybe that's what I get for decimating planets as a hostile alien invader who values high scores over ethics. Not that I ever actually scored that high, 50k in the standard mode and 30k in advanced mode, which plays the same but starts you at a later loop. As simple as they may be, I really love the graphics in Base Attack. The planet terrain makes some interesting patterns, the bases themselves have some cool variety, and your ship seems to stretch and morph as it flies up and down. Probably because of a programming issue, but I still think it's neat. I also like how your stock of lives is displayed as mirrored blocks, radiating outward from the score counter. It may sound silly, but it integrates the information into the playfield in an aesthetically pleasing way that most games don't even bother to attempt. The sound design is a little less exciting, consisting entirely of laser pings and explosion crashes, but they're sufficiently bloopy and crunchy, respectively, to leave me satisfied. Plus there's a little jingle that plays whenever you clear a level, so that helps too. The most novel aspect of Base Attack is definitely the move-to-aim mechanics. They make regular old space shooting a little more interesting, albeit a little more difficult too. And speaking of difficulty, the one thing I'd change about this game is how the challenge level seems to come mainly from unlucky missile pod spawns rather than skill errors, which just feels a little unfair. But overall, Base Attack is a nice, fun space shooter that's perfectly enjoyable so long as you can deal with sneaky missile pods and abandon your ethics for points as a planet-decimating, hostile alien invader.